everybody. The decisive mandate voters have given the UPA to govern India for the next 5 years has left most of us stunned. It's fair to say no one saw it coming except perhaps all the winners. So we are continuing to dissect the results of the 15th Lok Sabha elections here on CNBC TV 18. Over the next hour, we are going to look at these numbers to find out what they say about who we are. What is the picture of India that this verdict helps us paint? An eclectic mix of people are here to help us join the dots. All specialists, all deeply committed to taking India to new heights. From Ahmedabad, artist, activist, independent political candidate Mallika Sarabhai. From Hyderabad, Jayprakash, former bureaucrat, newly minted MLA and founder of the Lok Sabha. In Mumbai, filmmaker Rakeysh Mehra and political scientist P. Venkatesh. In New Delhi, economist, author, member of the British House of Lords Meghnad Desai, and with him, one of the most insightful people on brands and culture in India, Santosh Desai. Thank you all very much for joining us. Mallika, let me start directly with you. Though you've lost the Gandhinagar seat, do you see this unequivocal mandate as a victory? Because it is a clear mandate for stability and secularism.
I have to say I'm very happy that the fascist forces have not sort of thumped home with a victory. However, there are a lot of worrying trends as well, because Gujarat remains somehow immune to the rest of the country. That's worrying for us. Also, some of the other states where communalism still seems to be ruling the roost. And I think that the Congress's policies on globalization are also very worrying for me. So I think overall, yes, it's great that it's the Congress that's come in and the UPA that will rule, but I don't think we should rest on that.
All right. Meghnad Desai, there is little or nothing in our ancient history or heritage that, has fostered the democratic spirit that we seem to flaunt so casually and with such ease, every 5 years or so. Now, what does it say about us as a people, the fact that we are so easy with the practice of democracy? And how would you describe the national character circa 2009, given the kind of verdict that's come in?
had no democracy for 2000 years or whatever, but it has been training itself by stages for a long time. And 60 years of democracy is longer than many countries in Europe can boast. So I don't think Indians should be at all modest about their experience of democracy. And what this election shows is that you cannot take the Indian voter for granted. You cannot assume that just because you've been in power, you will be renewed in power. They don't fall for the simple stories, and you've got to actually deliver good governance for the Indian voter to vote you back in.
Right. Venkatesh, everyone had predicted that this was going to be a hung parliament. In fact, political analysts and, media groups had settled in for at least 5 years of 5 days more of political tamasha and analysis to accompany it. Today, there are odes being written to the maturity of the Indian voter. What is it? Why is it that we are not able to understand or see or read the mind of us as citizens?
I think this is a verdict which, as Lord Desai pointed out, is clearly a verdict for development, for good governance. And I think, yes, this verdict has kind of gone beyond the expectation of exit polls and pollsters and people who predicted. I think this is a singular verdict which has spoken about governance across the country, by states, by the union, all across. And I think it's the maturing of the Indian electorate. And
interestingly, even though we saw local issues being brought up when we were on the campaign trail, this seems to be about the big picture. The voters seem to have kept the big picture in mind. Rakeysh Mehra, you were one of the people disappointed by the low turnout that we saw in Mumbai. I think I'm right in saying that. Tell me, after these results, do you see all those efforts that the media and, brands, everybody, civil society put to get people going? Do you see that maybe maybe that has resulted in a more mature voter, in a more decisive voter, qualitatively, even if quantitatively didn't get voters out?
Yeah, I think we can say that, but for me, you have to look at the positive aspect of it. The glass is always half full. So if the media and the people and the concerned citizens wouldn't have made the effort, the turnout could have been even lower than this. And I tend to agree with you. Definitely by having a more informed voter this time. The idea was not just to bring in people in hordes, but to inform the people about whom they are voting for. And there were so many tools, so many facilities to inform the voter through the SMS, through the TV, through the website, through the newspaper, telling the voter on all counts whether this guy has a criminal record or not.
So you're saying this is something that that effort has not been wasted?
Oh no, absolutely not. I think this is historical. When we look back, 2009 results will single-handedly stand out alone after the independence.
And as a turning point perhaps for where India could be headed.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a starting point, and the gun has just gone off. This is where the race begins.
Santosh Desai, this is where the race begins. I want you to sort of nuance the conversation a bit now. A clean sweep for the Congress in Mumbai. In South Mumbai, the sitting MP Milind Deora wins by over 1 lakh of voters. This is after the, after delimitation and all of that. In Delhi, Congress has a clean sweep. In Chennai, DMK I think has 2 out of 3. In Kolkata, Trinamool takes 4 out of 4. It's only in Bangalore that BJP gets 3 out of 4. Why did the BJP lose favour with urban voters?
I think certainly as far as the urban vote is concerned, I think the BJP's inability to define an agenda for itself, and I think in that sense, by putting all its eggs in at least in one basket, which is the strong leadership kind of a basket, I think is actually a perhaps wrong call. Also because attacking Manmohan Singh does not have tremendous political advantage. I mean, you set yourself up for a counter-attack, but you actually, even if you were to win that debate, you would not win anything, because Manmohan Singh, for all his image in the middle class, is not electorally significant as far as the rest of India is concerned. So to that extent, I think that, attacking and choosing that as a line of attack is to have wasted the opportunity for a crystallized message. And I think therefore, they sort of, they fired blanks.
So do you think,
as far as
do you think, Santosh, that the Congress is the new urban party, or is it too early to say something like that?
Yeah, it's too, I mean, in general, I'm always a little wary of instant, I find it quite surprising that, till about 12 hours ago, or whatever, 24 hours ago, everyone was completely confused. And within a couple of hours, everyone is an expert on what happened. I mean, it's remarkable, the certitude that comes with, retrospective wisdom.
2020 vision.
So I'm very wary of, I'm very wary of these instant judgments.
Fair enough. All right, Jayprakash, the Lok Satta started out as a people's movement in 1996. About a decade later, you decided to make it into a political party. You've contested in Andhra Pradesh, I think, for 32 parliamentary seats, 294 assembly seats, and you're the only person who's won anything. So congratulations. But the question is the new kind of politician not connecting with the Indian electorate?
That's not true as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned. In a first-past-the-post system that we have, where one more vote means you win, one less vote means you lose, people always look for the best option among the available bad ones. They don't want a particular fellow to win, and therefore there's always tactical voting. And the second is, in a clientless state where people depend on the state for a ration card, for a particular passbook, for 100 other things, there is fear that the local feudal lords, if you go against their writ and therefore vote against the established entrenched two major parties, there's a price to pay. And tomorrow, this third party, however nice these guys are, they don't have the ability to protect you, because the elites, the locally influential fellows, they're not there with the third party. So then, they're not willing to support them and then stand by them.
So Jayprakash, Lord Meghnad,
so conversion of the support into vote...
Sorry, go ahead.
Conversion of the support into vote is always a big challenge in our system. Even in a country like Britain, a third party after 50, 60 years is finding it very difficult. In America, a third party did not take roots. Therefore, to create an alternative political culture, while there is a constituency, there is a demand, there is a need, the middle class is totally with us, the youth are totally with us. Conversion is a challenge, but we'll accomplish that in Andhra Pradesh first. because this is a battle for India.
You know, I've
we have to begin.
I've heard Meghnad Desai say that you know, if you're a new kind of politician, if you want to get into politics, then it's about the long haul. So I think even go as far as to say you start today, you get lucky in 2025. Do you agree with that? That you have to settle in there for the long haul if you have to make an impact as someone getting into politics, either as a person or as a party? What is it that India is looking for from its political representatives?
Unquestionably, it's a long haul. After all, already Lok Satta fought for 13 years now. It's not a new thing.
That's true.
If we are here where we are credible, recognized, respected across the state of Andhra Pradesh with greater credibility than any other political party. That's because of 13 years' effort. But still, it will take some more time to convert it into vote, and hopefully it will not be another 20 years, because when the time is ripe, the big change happens suddenly. Until the last minute, it appears to be impossible.
Right.
But suddenly, like, the Berlin Wall fell.
But what do you, Jayprakash, what does it say about the Indian...
15 days.
Oh, sorry. What does it say about the Indian electorate that Chiranjeevi's Prajarajyam gets about 18 seats in the assembly, and that's a party that was launched 8 months ago. And, Lok Satta, which has been around, as you said, as a movement for over a decade, gets just one person in the assembly.
What it means is that credibility and integrity and commitment and ideas are necessary but not enough.
Okay.
People see winnability, people see that only traditional politics will survive, and this is traditional. Chiranjeevi is a traditional politics, maybe a new party, but a new label, that's all, it's the same politics. And they see that's the only thing viable at this point of time. You have to make them believe, realize and trust that new politics is viable. Therefore, I would see it as our failure, not the people's failure. Okay,
Mallika, just before we go into the break, you have lost Gandhinagar. Other prominent independent candidates have not quite made the mark either. In hindsight, though you've said that your fight was not a token fight, would you say that collectively the prominent citizens getting into politics was a symbolic gesture which was important in terms of the signal it sent out both to political parties and to the voters?
No, I don't think it was symbolic. I think it's a learning experience. I agree with what Jayprakash ji says. We need to form a party. Meera Sanyal and Captain Gopinath and I have already been discussing things. I think in Gujarat certainly we need a new party, and I'm working towards it. It needs to be a cadre-based party, like Jayprakash ji's is. And I think we need to be working very hard and furiously so that it's not 2025, but it's in the next 5 years. And I think personally that we need to fight it at all levels, from the corporation level up.
Okay, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, the Indian voter has come good. What does it expect from the government to deliver now? That's ahead on the show.